with our host, Susan Lintonsmith. Susan, we're getting into the holidays. This is the time. Tell us a little story of the kids and the holidays, especially Thanksgiving.
Well, I love having the kids home now that they're older. I don't always have them home, so love being able to celebrate and have them and get together with meals, and then we can always reminisce about when they were younger and doing some of the rascally things that are captured in the Under the Couch series, like some of the sibling rivalry and some of the lessons that we were trying to impart on them when they were younger. And now, as they're older, you can just be a little bit more in their face about, see, I told you. But yeah, it's really fun when we're all together and we can talk about the past and laugh about it.
100%. So, how does fantasy actually help kids build real world problem solving skills?
Yeah, so fantasy. So that is really the genre of my books. A lot of it is based on stuff that was actually happening in our life. But then when they go under the couch and go on those adventures, that is a fantasy world. And what's nice about it is it lets the characters and the readers through the characters, really face some of the situations like fear and practice bravery and decision making without real life consequences. I mean, there's danger in this under the couch world, but the boys are always okay. But it does really get them the opportunity to face these things and to really practice some of the things that kids need to, which is some of the decision-making challenges and problem-solving skills. So the nice thing that these are perfect books for the classroom, perfect for the holidays for gifts, but perfect in the classroom because teachers can take the fantasy and what the two characters actually do on these adventures and ask the kids, start breaking it down and asking the kids, how would you have solved this? Did the boys do it right? But it's fantasy, so it's not real life, but they can make real life decisions, but in a fantasy fun setting.
Yeah, and that's the key in a fun setting, and so it's fun for the whole family, and also really good in the classroom to have those situations going. So, what moments in the book help teachers talk about emotional awareness? Talk about that because that's such an
Mhm.
important thing, is emotional awareness.
It is. And how do we deal with emotions? So, anytime the boys go on adventures under the couch, so they go through the portal to the under the couch world, this fantasy world, as we just talked about, they really do face the unknown. From the time they go under the couch to everything that happens to the time they choose the door in the under the couch world and select their adventure, it's completely unknown to them. So what they face real danger. Face the excitement, the anxiety, the fear, the frustration, right? Sometimes when they're like, we don't know how to get back. So the whole emotional roller coaster, if you will. So teachers can use those scenarios to really help kids talk about what are these characters feeling? What were you feeling when you were reading this? If you put yourself in the shoes of the characters, and then the teachers can talk to them about ways that they would handle those emotions. Did the boys handle them well? Why or why not? So I think of it as a really clever way for the teachers to use what happens on these adventures to really talk about, have the emotional intelligence with the kids without it looking like or appearing like it's, a boring lecture or anything. It's really getting them involved because they can really put themselves in the shoes of the characters.
Absolutely, they're able to put the shoes of their characters, and then that's it's such a great thing to be able to think about that. And then if these kids can go through this, I can go through it as well. How
Right.
can teachers use the sibling relationship to teach teamwork and communication?
Well, we talked about these boys are based on or the characters, the brothers are based on my boys, and they really did fight. All siblings fight, to my
Yeah.
knowledge. At least we did. I did with my brothers. But so it's, a lot of the book is written around, real life situations that they had. So the brothers fight, they disagree, and then they learned through these adventures that they have to work together to problem solve, to get out of the situations that they find themselves in. So they really do grow throughout the series and in the book about, like, they grow in their relationships, and they grow in learning how to work through the friction, the conflict. And so this gives teachers an opportunity to talk about conflict, whether it's sibling and family or whether it's friends, right? Because that is what it's about when you're kids, is you really do face different situations. So the teachers can talk about that and say, where did they communicate well? Where didn't they? And talk about, respect. Did they treat each other with respect? Were they listening? Were they cooperating? So these are great classroom topics. And one example I want to bring up is in book 9, Castle. There was a prince in that book that was not kind to the youngest character, Justin, and that made the older brother Spencer very angry, very angry. And at the very end of the book, they're talking about the adventure. They were talking about the situation, and Spencer was like, "That prince made me so mad because he was really teasing you, and he was being so mean." And Justin said to him, "But you tease me all the time about not being able to read and being dyslexic. You do this to me. Why are you so mad at this prince when you do that?" And what I love about it is that the realization with Spencer as to how he was treating Justin, and the conversation that they had and the respect they were showing for each other. So just a really good example for teachers to use in the classroom.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely. Um, why does an imaginative setting help reluctant readers stay engaged?
Well, it's fun. It's just a fun adventure. It's fast moving, fast paced, and kids simply love going someplace new, someplace where they can explore, someplace where they can use their imagination, where they can escape. So the portal to adventure, to the unknown, keeps them curious. They want to know what's going on the other side, what's happening, what is this whole under the couch world. So it keeps them coming back, and teachers in the classroom can use this imaginative setting to be able to really let kids use their curiosity and to push, like, prediction skills. What do you think is going to happen next? Use their imagination. Where would you have thought that that was going to go when they went through and faced this? So really get that discussion going in a very fun way that keeps the kids engaged.
How can the book be used to build resilience in
Mm,
students?
mm. Well, in these stories, the boys get in trouble. They face danger and they get themselves in trouble sometimes. They mess up. They do things they're not supposed to. So it's really the danger and the unknown, and they get scared, but they keep going and they problem solve and they figure out a way to work together to get out of it. So the kids can see, look, you don't have to get stuck. You just work together, figure it out, use your problem solving skills. You're not stuck in any situation, but it's a fun way to be able to show how they can build resilience and keep going, so that they can, the next time they face, they're like, "Oh, I know what happened last time. I can use those skills for this."
What classroom activities brings the book's themes to life immediately?
Yeah, so I think teachers can ask students, first off, which was their favorite? There's 12 books. Which was your favorite adventure? Why did you like it? And ask the kids to maybe create their own under the couch adventure. Like, if you were going to go through a portal to the unknown, to an under the couch, where would you go? So, and then ask them maybe to invent a problem, go through what emotions would you be facing, you and whoever you're with, when you face that challenge or that adventure, and really talk through it. So it ties together all the themes that we've been talking about, which is like the creativity, teamwork, emotional awareness, problem solving skills and a really fun activity that's based on the books and based on this series. And I think that teachers would really enjoy that, and the students would as well.
And the feedback you get from kids about the books, what have you been hearing when you talk to kids that have read it?
Yeah, so what I hear is they usually tell me, "Oh, I love the youngest character. He's so funny. You know, he's goofy. He's so funny." But they say I can really relate to the oldest character. These characters have real life. They, like I said, they're based on my sons, and they have real life opportunities and challenges, whether it's dyslexia, whether it's being having focus issues, anxiety, how they face fear, the sibling rivalry. So they tell me I can see myself in this character. I can relate to this character, and I think that makes it more enjoyable as well.
I think it absolutely makes it more enjoyable because it's something then that you're able to bring to the table that is really fun, really something that can really make them really imagine what if there was an under the couch world? How cool would it be? And
Yes.
how can I create that under the couch world in so many ways? So, and it really relates to other things, especially when you talk about under the couch and you talk about upside down world with Stranger Things.
Yep.
Perfect time to bring some relationships of what's difference when the kids go, and some of them are similar except not to the killing point of Stranger Things, but talk
Oh,
about that similarity a little bit.
interesting. Yeah, I didn't get into that series until just recently. So I had already written the book series, but those kids also face a lot of danger and challenges. And yes, there's a lot of blood, and there are, like you said, there's killing. But that's what's good about this series is you face the challenges and the dangers, but it's still safe. So you learn lessons, but it's still safe, right? The boys are okay, but they learn, right? They definitely learn from it, and they face things just like with Stranger Things that you're just like kids would love to face because it's just like the unknown, right? It's fantasy, it's fun.
Right. Fantasy, fun, all of the things combined. So the best place to go is underthecouchbooks.com. And you can purchase the books there. And appreciate it, Susan. Look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you so much.
All right. You're listening.